A lot of women over 30 typically like to ask me, why, as a single woman over 30, can't I find a man my own age who is also over 30? And what I tell them is the reason why you can't find a man over 30 to date you as a woman over 30 is because men over 30 can afford to avoid women over 30. And that is a simple truth and a simple fact. And the topic of tonight's coaching video is the fact that men over 30 can afford to avoid dating women over 30, but women over 30 cannot afford to avoid dating men over 30. And it's very, very ironic, isn't it? Very, very ironic that two people could be the same age, and as a man in your 30s, and especially your 40s, and well into your 50s and beyond, you can afford to date women who are at minimum 10 years younger, and then some, okay? At minimum. Right now, one of the girls I'm dating, I've mentioned this before, been dating now for almost 8 months. It's 19, right? The girl I'm dating right now is 19. I'm more than twice her age. And I've had a number of people hate, especially in the comments, like, what are you doing with her? Just a baby. Just a baby. Why would you date somebody? Why shouldn't you date somebody your own age, mister? Date somebody your own age. It's like, because I can afford not to. I don't have to date somebody my own age because I can afford to date younger, hotter women. I can afford to. Right? And I don't want to make this all about like, I don't want to draw the wrong picture that, oh, it's all about money, because it's not. I mean, beyond your financial status, it's your social status, right? It's your value as a man, your SMV. What have we talked about on this channel, guys? Your sexual marketplace prime as a man is between the ages of 35 and 45. And for the guys who follow me, I truly believe it's even beyond that. It's 35 to 55 is where your prime is as a man. I am making more money than I ever did before. I am in better shape than I have ever been before. I have more younger women hitting me up than ever before. I have more women responding me in field than ever before through cold approach. It's a phenomenal time, you know, and for guys, just because we mature later in life than women do, it's just kind of like the perfect storm. Everything lines up at the right time. The stars align at the perfect time for us as men, right? We hit all the green lights in our 30s and beyond. I mean, because really in our 20s, before we turn 30, I mean, you know, we're getting like crappy jobs. We don't have a whole lot of money in our bank accounts. We're just kind of not sure what we want to do with our lives. We're just kind of wandering around. We're kind of goofy at that age, super immature, and it's just not attractive to women. And it's not until we get older and we get more solidified in who we are, we get more centered and grounded in our character, our behavioral traits, our personality, we get more confident about who we are, we get more self-assured. We begin to trust ourselves more. We trust our decisions more. We become better leaders. We become better communicators, right? We adopt better body language. We solidify our voice tonality. All those things that come along with getting older as a man, it becomes more and more attractive to the opposite sex, but especially younger women. And this is why it's easier than ever before, you know, jumping into your 30s and 40s to get women in their early 20s, right? I mean, I remember when I was in my 20s, it was actually much harder to get women my own age to date me because they were dating guys who were older, who were more financially successful, more financially stable, who were just more mature than I was. And, you know, I didn't like it at the time. It bothered me. It used to piss me off. I used to try to shame some of them for it too. Like one of my ex-girlfriends, like she left me for this guy who was 10 years older. No, 11 years older. I was 24. She was 24. And then she left me for a dude who was 35. Had his own house in the hills and had a good job and was moving up in his career. And I was pretty pissed about that. I was like, oh, he could be your dad. You're so gross. You're so gross. Dating that old man. And now here I am doing that same shit. But it's easier. It just gets easier. So this is something that especially most modern women today don't want to hear, is the fact that they can't get guys their own age. And you'll hear a lot of modern women these days complain about that, especially on these dating apps, right? Which I don't recommend. I'm a straight cold approach, old school pickup artist. I love to meet women in person. I hate dating apps. I don't use them. We did an experiment on a dating app recently, like 1 or 2 of them, that I'm gonna probably just do a whole like coaching video on about the differences. But that was a social experiment, and at the end of it, I came to the conclusion that cold approach is 1,000 times better than dating apps. But regardless, not to get off topic, most of these modern women on these dating apps are complaining about the fact that they can't even date men their own age, and that the only guys hitting them up are like these grandpas in their like 70s who want to get with them. They can't get a partner their own age. If it's not these grandpas who are hitting them up in their 70s trying to hook up with them, it's these much younger guys in their 20s who just see an easy opportunity to have sex with an older woman, right? And a lot of these older women will do that, right? They might be in their like mid 40s, maybe 50s. They'll like bang a 28-year-old guy, 22-year-old guy, just as that badge of honor, right? That badge of honor, while at the same time deluding herself into believing that guy is gonna stick around. This 22-year-old kid is gonna be sticking around. No, even that guy's not gonna stick around, because he'd rather date younger women his own age. And this is the rub that that a lot of modern women don't like to hear. They can no longer get men their own age. So why can't they get men their own age? Because these men are going for women who are half their age. Guys like me. Any guy who is high value, right, which are the most sought after guys on the planet, guys who are high value, guys who basically have their shit together, who are crushing it out there, who take care of themselves physically, right? Do your best to take care of yourself. And you have social status. These are guys that are deemed high value, right? I mean, for me, I have a successful business. I'm a successful entrepreneur. I have 250,000 followers on both of my channels now, like combined. So I have a huge social media following. So I have social status, and I have financial status, and I take pretty good care of myself, right? Obviously, there are better looking guys out there than I am, but I take pretty good care of myself. And I have more choice in women than I've ever had before across 3 different generations. I got Generation X, girls that I could date if I wanted to. I don't date them anymore because now they've gotten too old for me, even though I'm Generation X. There's Generation Y, which is a millennial generation. I've dated plenty of millennials, and dating 1 or 2 millennials right now that are in my life. They're not these lazy, like woke type millennials. They're like more conservative, traditional type women. That just happen to be millennials. And now I've dated, actually there's 2 in my dating rotation now that are part of Generation Z. These chicks were born, like literally the girl that I'm dating right now was born in the year 2001. How crazy is that? So across 3 generations, I have my pick of women. And matter of fact, in my 6-girl dating rotation, it's made up of mostly Generation Y, and then again, those 2 Generation Zs, where they're born after the year 2000, which is just insane to me. It's just insane. I have shirts. I literally joke with the Generation Z girls that I'm dating now. I'm like, I have shirts that are older than you. Shirts, like t-shirts that are older than you. It's insane. But why don't I date women my own age? Why don't I date some Generation Xers like me? I'm Generation X. I should date the Generation X. Because I can afford not to. I don't have to. Why do it? I don't have to. It's like you might ask me, like, hey, why don't you drive a Honda Civic? Why do you got to drive Range Rover? Because I can afford to drive the Range Rover. Hey, why don't you just buy a Toyota Corolla? Why do you have to drive that DeLorean? Because I could afford the DeLorean. Hey, why are you going Lamborghini shopping? Why don't you just go Kia shopping? It's like, because I don't have to. I can afford to get the Lamborghini. You understand? So And this isn't just about money. It's about, like I said, it's about social status, right? Even with like social media. Again, I have 250,000 followers on YouTube, so I get recognized when I go out. You know, usually it's more often than not, right? Especially lately, with the growth of my channel, I'm getting recognized. Even when I take trips, like I went to Vegas, I got recognized like 3 times in the first week that I was there. It was insane. So there's social status that comes with it, and it's just to the point I don't need to settle for somebody my own age. I mean, I even have women hitting me up through my Instagram now that found me on YouTube. I have women wanting to date me because they saw me on YouTube, and they're like sending me messages on Instagram like, hey, if you're ever in this town, why don't you give me a call? I would love to meet you and go out with you, and I watch all your stuff, and you know, stuff like that. And other girls have like blatantly said shit like, you're handsome and I think you're hot, and I would totally like jump in the sack with you if you ever come to my town. I mean, this is like super blatant. I get a lot of those messages, even without doing any cold approach, doing any game. I'm getting these messages through social media now. So well, on top of the fact that I also do cold approach and game, I mean, it's insane the level of women that are in my pipeline now. So why would I ever settle for a woman my own age when I don't need to, right? There's just no reason to. It's like if you show up at my front door with like 12 trucks full of Lamborghinis, why would I go shopping for a Toyota Corolla? I wouldn't. I'm like, shit, I got trucks of Lamborghinis out there. I don't need to drive the Corolla. So the reason why men over 30 don't date women over 30 is because they can afford not to. They don't have to. And I'm telling you, as a guy, you don't have to. Younger women want to date older men. I've said this over and over and over. Does it mean all younger women? No, of course not. Of course you're gonna have, you know, a few younger women out there who are gonna be like, gross, 2 years older than me, gross. But for the most part, you're gonna meet a lot of younger women who are way more mature than that, and they're gonna know instinctively, like, yeah, I like older guys. I'm attracted to older guys. I'm attracted to your wisdom, your life experience, your knowledge. And that's another thing that I haven't mentioned yet, which is why younger women are so attracted to older men. It's just because you have that life experience, you have that tutelage, that mentorship you could provide for her as a young lady that guys her own age can't. Okay, so again, this goes beyond just financial status. It goes into social status. It goes into your life experience, your wisdom, your knowledge, that, you know, that accumulation of just priceless and valuable wisdom that you've gained through, you know, decades of being alive that you could share with her. And unfortunately, most women over 30, especially in their 40s and 50s, don't understand this. And they are tearing their eyes out trying to figure out why they can't even get a guy their own age to commit to them, to settle down with them. You could get those guys to have sex with you, especially if you're a former hottie, you're still kind of pretty, right? You might still have a nice looking face, but for the most part, your SMV is gone, you know, and your looks are quickly fading. Those guys know that, right? Most guys know that. They're not going to stick around. Most high value guys, you know, who have their shit together. I mean, guys like myself, I have my shit together. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say that. I worked hard to get my shit together. I mean, when I was younger, I was getting in a lot of trouble. I didn't have a pot to piss in. I was immature. But these days, I've done well for myself, right? And like I said, I've got lots of social status, financial status, and there is no way I'm going to settle for somebody my own age. Right? There's no way. I don't need to. I don't have to. There's just no reason to. What for? Right? And many men like myself, you know, many men out there, even guys who aren't even doing that well, know that they don't have to settle for women their own age. Even guys who are just kind of like struggling to get by, right? Living paycheck to paycheck. Even those guys, they could easily date women 10 years younger, right? You take a 45-year-old man who is just working paycheck to paycheck. Maybe has some just regular job. Maybe he's just, you know, working at Best Buy or something like that. Maybe he's working at, Target. Even that guy, okay? That guy could date a woman 10 years younger than him, easily, like that, easily. And that chick will take him seriously. That chick will want to be in a relationship with him. Even that guy, 10 years, 15 years, even that guy can easily get a girl in his 20s as well. right? And he does not need to settle for a woman who is also 45. He just doesn't need to. And that's a guy who doesn't have much social status, doesn't have much financial status. He's just 45. Might just have, you know, some knowledge and some wisdom, but just the fact that he's older, he could date younger, okay? Because he's a guy, and as long as he's maintained himself, he's taking good care of himself, he can pull that off, okay? Most guys can. Most guys can. So yeah, it's always shocking to women that, you know, especially women who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, to be like, shit, I can't get a guy my own age. Why can't I find a guy that wants to date me that's my age, from my generation? It's like, because they don't have to, girl. They don't have to. They could date much younger women. They don't have to be with you. Especially the guys in my program. I have a lot of guys in their 30s, 40s, 50s. I even have a few guys in their 60s and a handful of guys in their 70s in my 7 months to mastery program. And these guys are always reporting back to me about how they're dating much younger women. A lot of these guys will send me photos of the women they're dating. Sometimes I literally get jealous of the women they're dating, because I'm like, shit, you use my tactics. You got this hot girl. She should be with me, you know, but I'm so happy for them. But I'm like, oh, I'm just like so elated that this is working for them, and that they see that they don't need to sell themselves short, because that is something that the mainstream media does. It teaches men to sell yourself short. Okay, the mainstream media is teaching you to sell yourself short as a man, to just throw in the towel. Oh, over 30, it's over the hill. You're over the hill. You're middle age. You're having a midlife crisis. No, I'm telling you different. You're hearing different from me on the 33 Secrets. There is no reason for you to date a woman your own age if you are over the age of 30. Okay, no reason at all. And this is why I always tell women to cash it in early. Any of my female followers that are still in their 20s, what do I tell you guys? I tell you guys to cash it in early. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck out there in the wastelands of the dating wastelands, just wandering around like the female version of Mad Max, just wandering the wastelands for the rest of your life, right? Just chasing that invisible carrot, trying to find that high value guy that you can no longer get. And I don't want that to happen to you, okay? I don't want that to happen to you. So this is why you want to cash it in early, because if you don't, you know, beyond your 30s, it's just going to be a string of, you know, endless nights riding the carousel, one night stands, chasing an unfulfilling corporate career, settling for low value men. That is going to be your life after 30. And I don't want that to happen to you. Okay. But for you guys who are watching this, understand you can afford to not settle for a woman your own age. You could easily date a woman at minimum 10 years younger than you. Okay, at minimum 10 years younger than you and beyond that. And as I've said, I'm dating a girl right now who's 19, and I am more than twice her age. More than twice her age. And there was never a hiccup in meeting her or dating her or anything like that where age was a question. I think when I first met her and she told me how young she was, she asked me like one time, is this okay with you? Do you feel uncomfortable with this? I'm like, no, not at all. I'm totally fine. I go, you uncomfortable with this? She's like, nope. And I was like, good, we're a match. 8 months later, here we are, still dating. So with that said, I'm gonna wrap up here. Drop your comments below, guys. Let me know your thoughts on tonight's coaching video, tonight's topic, how you feel about these women getting butthurt, getting bitter, getting angry, the fact that you're in your 30s and she's in her 30s and you're not interested in her, or you might be in your 40s or 50s and she's also in her 40s or 50s and she's like, let's do this, me and you, and you're like, no girl, you're too old for me, you're too old for me. And she's like, what? We're the same age. What are you talking about, you old man? You're an old man too. Like, I'm an old man, but I could get younger women. I'm an old man who dates younger women. Drop your comments below if you've had experiences with this, and share your comments, thoughts, and ideas with the community. I love to read them. I love to see them. With that said, I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Do not forget to destroy that like button below. I want you to destroy it, guys. Please destroy that like button for me. Do it for the DeLorean. Do it for Cash and Gizmo. Just destroy that like button. Do it now. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, especially
especially because they don't like me doing coaching videos like this. They don't want to promote me anymore. So I need you guys to help me out. And the way you can help me out is by subscribing to my channel. Okay, it's free, it doesn't cost anything. So hit that subscribe button right now so you could get more free, high value content from me at no cost just by being a subscriber of the 33 Secrets. And for you guys who want to support my work and all this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content that I am teaching you on the YouTube even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the hottest, youngest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, the same exact type of women that myself and all of my coaching students all around the world are out there approaching and closing every single week. And I kid you not, we are making this happen every single week, regardless of what racial division is going on in the world, kind of virus is going on in the world. It doesn't matter. We are continuing to live our lives and making things happen 24/7, 365 days a year, all around the world, in all 4 corners of the world. And I want you to join my tribe. I want you to join our crew. I want you to become one of us. And the way you do that is by jumping into 7 Months of Mastery. And right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of mastery coaching lessons from me. And all you need to do to get signed up is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video. Say goodnight to the DeLorean. Good night, DeLorean. Good night, stainless steel. Back to the future dream. Good night.